Hey guys, so I decided to record a little rant, rave type of thing for the whole Five Nights at Freddy series. Mainly because I'm a huge fan, and since the series is coming to an end, I might as well just give my thoughts on the game. In this video, it's just gonna be strictly about like what my favorite game is, why I like certain games, why I didn't like certain games, my favorite characters, stuff like that. It's not gonna be about the lore. If you want to know what I think of the lore, it's too complex to get into, and I'll just pop links to my tribute film that I made, which will explain the lore in my understanding. So let's just get on. When it comes to picking my favorite out of the series, I can't really pick one right now since I am still playing FNAF 4 and it did just come out. But I can say that before FNAF 4, I was playing FNAF 2 the most. And I know why people hated this game. They said it was too hard, it was too scary, all these other things. And I feel like they're kind of overrating what it was. It wasn't as scary as people say it was. To me personally, maybe some people found it really scary. I'm not trying to knock you if you do find it the scariest one. I'm just saying for me personally, it wasn't that scary and it wasn't that hard. I think it was only hard because we didn't know how to actually play it. But once you play it and once you play all these custom modes, which I love the custom modes, I thought that was cool. I feel like it was an easier game. I liked the gameplay. I felt the gameplay was really smooth. I felt like I like being active. I like having a lot of things to do. Whereas in the first game, the only thing that we had to do was watch out for Foxy, and then if Freddy got off stage, we just had to watch out for him. And then you do 420 mode, and then basically you've done the game. In this game, you could beat all the custom nights, and it would still, catch you off guard sometimes when you replay it. And I don't know, I find this game to be the most replayable for me personally. And also, with the fact of it being overrated, I think it's underrated because there's a lot of detail that Scott put into this game. There was an instance where I think Daco did a video where Mangle's Static was saying "it's me" through that garbled police radio stuff. And then you look at the Easter eggs with the Shadow Freddy, Shadow Bonnie, the paper plate in the room, and then the little foreshadowing of FNAF 3 with Chica holding the cupcake in front of the paper plate kid. And then you see her mini game in the third game, and it's her giving cupcakes to kids. I felt like Scott put a lot of detail into the rooms that I had to go on the wiki to find out since I couldn't really look at the rooms, and that was a main issue for me, where we were more focused on one camera and the vent in the hallway. We weren't really focused on the different details in the rooms and the different positions that these animatronics are in because we didn't have time to. And I feel like that's where Scott kind of messed up. I don't want to say messed up because I know he did it purposely, but I think he just wanted to overcompensate from the quote unquote boringness of the first game, which I don't think the first game was that boring, but he wanted to overcompensate for the lack of activity in the first game, and he wanted to add the music box and the mask, which were both awesome ideas, and the flashlight. And I feel like that kind of detracted from why I love FNAF 1, which was the visuals of the animatronics staring at me and being creeped out by it. Um, that was another thing. The second game didn't have the ambience and the creepiness that the first game had, where we were literally sitting in silence, hearing footsteps, hearing the weird music in the background, hearing Foxy's dum 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 dum, and Freddy's laugh, and just all this creepy noise that we were hearing in the dark. In this game, we were too busy doing on the mask and hearing the music box tune and flashing the light that we really couldn't be creeped out as much as we were just panicking. But overall, I feel like the FNAF 2 was way better when in terms of gameplay than the first one, but it was not as scary as people said it was. Um, my least favorite game would definitely have to be FNAF 3, and it's not a terrible game, and I appreciate it for what it is. I just don't find myself going back to it like I do FNAF 2 and FNAF 1. I don't really play it that much unless I have to get footage from my videos. And the reason why is because when I first got it, within an hour of playing it, I wasn't scared anymore because it had lost all scare factor for me due to the overabundance of jump scares. BB and Foxy jumping at me every 2 seconds was really aggravating. The fact that the puppet, you can't click away from his camera basically, and he just stares at you for 10 seconds annoyed me. The fact that I had to keep the camera up for Freddy walking by with his broken leg, I ain't got time for that. And then Springtrap with his BS, like I couldn't really get behind all the jump scares. They weren't really scary. The thing about jump scares is they are a cheap way to get a scare, but And a lot of people complained in the second game that the jump scares were repetitive, this and that. But at least in the second game, there's only one jump scare and you're dead. First game, one jump scare, dead. In this game, you could get jump scared 50,000 times and still be alive. And beyond that point, you're not scared anymore. You're just aggravated because it messes your gameplay up. Another reason why the game just wasn't scary to me was the pacing. The pacing was really weird in this game. In the first game, the pacing was really slow and gradual, where the first night wasn't really anything going on except for Bonnie, and maybe Chica if you got lucky. And then the second game, Chica was added, and then Foxy would poke his head out in the third night, and then Freddy, the big guy, would come out, and then that's when everything got really, really, really intense. In the second game, it was the toy stage with Toy Freddy, Toy Chica, and Toy Bonnie coming at you the first night. Second night, Mangle and BB and I think Foxy. And then the third night, the old animatronics come out, and then it's got more and more intense. This game, first night, absolutely nothing happens, which I do appreciate because we do want to learn how to play the game. But then the second night, boom, Springtrek's there, and he is fast as heck. And I didn't really understand. There was no pacing because that's what it was. And then I guess the pacing could be behind the hallucinations, but then again, the hallucinations happen so much that it's not really pacing. It's just adding just new stuff. And then on top of that, I feel like the story behind it, which I know I'm not gonna talk about the lore, but the story behind it to me, I didn't really get it. The happiest day I got after playing FNAF 4, I understood what the happiest day was, presuming that FNAF 4 was definitely before all this, happened. And I understood why it happened now, but with the dismembering of the animatronics, I still to this day don't really completely understand why that was a thing. And I don't really get the whole theme behind FNAF 3. FNAF 2 was mainly about the puppets' origins and what happened to the children. The first game, you were learning about what happened like years back, and in this game, I didn't really understand what Scott was trying to do. I guess you could say he's trying to build on the purple guy, but then again, the happiest day thing was a really big thing. So I don't know what he was trying to do with story in FNAF 3. But like I said, the FNAF 3 wasn't a terrible game, but it definitely did disappoint me. With the teasers being so creepy and the trailer being so creepy, I really, really... And also another thing that disappointed me was the fact that there was no Phantom Bonnie. Like, I really wanted, like... If you're going to play on nostalgia like you did in the second game with the old animatronics coming at you, which I felt was kind of... I didn't really like that either because I wanted to see the new animatronics in action, but I didn't really get new animatronic action past night 1. It was mainly after night 3. I only got the new animatronics on night 5, and then nothing else after that. But if you're going to play on nostalgia like he did, I would think that you would have a Phantom Bonnie, a Phantom Chica, Phantom Freddy, and Phantom Foxy. I don't know why he didn't add Phantom Bonnie. Maybe he thought Springtrap was Bonnie. I don't know. I kind of was disappointed to see that there was no Phantom Bonnie. And I was also disappointed there was no like custom night thing. There was only nightmare mode and aggressive nightmare mode. I did like the cheats, but I mean, I beat the game in under a week, and that's another reason why I didn't really like it. I don't like games that I can beat like quickly. The other two games took me a while to beat, and this one took me under a week, and then I was done with it because it just made me rage. It's not a terrible game, but I felt like when it comes to the jump scare things, I could definitely see why people would call this one the annoying game, because to me, this was the most annoying one out of the series. The jump scares in the second game didn't really bother me. In this game, they definitely did. So now we're going to go on to the last game, which is FNAF 4, and I have to say that this game is definitely better than the third one by 20,000 miles. I feel like this game took what the first game wanted to do and up to a new level. I felt like Scott, what he did was combine all his games into one game. With the movements and with the activity, I really do love this game. I like the creepiness of it with the ambience, and then the whole you have to listen for breathing. Like, that's just creepy. You have to sit there in silence and listen for someone breathing in your ear. Like, that's just weird to me, and it's creepy. And then hearing footsteps, I don't like footsteps. It makes me paranoid. And then I'm hearing footsteps, I'm hearing Foxy trying to get into my room, and then I hear him run into the closet, and then I have to go check him. And then behind me are freaking little robots trying to assemble and then get Freddy to kill me. I just really love this game. And also, when it comes to the jump scares, like I said, this is probably the game with the best jump scares. The jump scares are not overdone. They're not tedious. They're not repetitive. They're unique, and then they're unexpected. And that, I think, if you're going to use a jump scare, which is a cheap horror tactic, you're going to do it like Scott did in this game. I feel like what he did was genius, where it was up to you. And if you got jump scared, it wasn't the game's fault. It was your fault because you didn't play it right. You need to be patient in this game. And that's one thing, reason why I love this game and why this game was such a challenge for me, because I'm so used to Five Nights at Freddy's, especially after the first game, being so fast paced. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, you have to do that. And you still have a lot to do in this game. Like, if Foxy gets in your room, that's like five different things you have to do. You have to worry about Foxy and then Freddles and then two beside you. But the fact that you have to sit there and wait, and the fact that the breathing is so sporadic, like you don't know when it's going to happen, and then as soon as you click the flashlight, you hear the breathing, and then it's like boom, and then you get scared. I think it was genius the way he implemented the jump scares in this game. The jump scares, the animation of them are amazing. The animation in this game, period, is amazing. The designs of the characters is amazing. The ambience is amazing. The surroundings, the movements, the noises, just the fact that sound is such a vital role in this game is amazing. And I feel like this game is probably going to end up being my favorite because I have fun playing this game. Like, I didn't think I would have fun, and this is the first time in a while when a game, I haven't been this scared to play a game since I played the first FNAF. And this game had me scared to play it. Like, I had to watch other people play it before I played it. That's how scared this game made me. This game definitely is going out with a bang. And I do commend Scott for making this game and for making it so just paying homage to the first game with Bonnie going down the left hall and Chica in the right, Foxy in the little cupboard that's like Pirate Cove, and then Freddy in the dark like he was in the first game. It just I just really love this game. I feel like FNAF 4 will end up being my favorite game because it's not overly difficult, and that if you do get jump scared, it's because your own fault. Like in the second game, sometimes it wasn't your fault, but they put you in impossible positions. In the third game, Springtrap, it wasn't really your fault because you can't avoid certain things with, you know, the puppet and stuff. But in this game, it's all up to you. It's at your own discretion whether or not you get jump scared. So far, when it comes to the gameplay, my list right now would be FNAF 4, then FNAF 2, then FNAF 1, and then FNAF 3. So yeah, that's all for the games. Now for my favorite characters, I don't really have a favorite character, but I don't really hate any characters at all. A lot of people hate BB, but I love BB. But from each game, I could say that in the first game, Foxy and Freddy were definitely fan favorites for me. Freddy was just creepy to me, like the fact that he moves in the dark and his eyes at the corner was creepy, and then Foxy running down the hall was just amazing. In the second game, I liked all of them. I don't think any. I think Mangle and Puppet are the coolest designs. Chica and old Freddy to me were the scariest. Well, all the old animatronics were scary. The new ones were so adorable, except for Toy Chica, Chicky Minaj, as people want to call her. She creeped me out. She creeped me out. She has nice hips, but she creeped me out. Third game, I loved. Even though they all got my nerves, I still love Springtrap. I loved his design. He was creepy, but he was adorable at the same time. Foxy was the scariest Phantom to me. Chica looked like a rotten watermelon, so I wasn't really scared of her. Fourth game, all the characters looked pretty scary. The animatronic Nightmare and Nightmare Fredbear were the scariest looking ones, followed by Chica and Foxy. So overall, the series to me is a very innovative series. A lot of people hate it for no reason, and you know, it is what it is. If you don't like the series, and you don't like the series, it's fine. I can see why some people don't like it. Some people just think it's a boring game. It's the same thing over and over again. But you have to give Scott his credit with the whole solo development, and then the fact that he implemented a story that still has no true conclusion to it. Just the internet just took it by storm. And then the fact that Warner's Brothers found it interesting enough to make a movie out of it. Like, a lot of people say that he puts games out too fast. Well, I mean, these games they're not that hard. They're not going to take that long to make because they are point and click games. He puts a lot of effort in whatever he does put out, so it's not like he's putting out bullcrap. He cares about his product, and he cares about the quality of his product. So I respect Scott, and I love the series anyways. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the whole FNAF series. Some people will be scared by the games, some people won't be scared by the games. Some people will like the game, some people won't. You can't please everybody, you can't scare everybody. I can say though that the lore is one of the most intriguing lores that I've ever read. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I didn't want to ramble on for too long. I know I did, but you know, it is what it is. This game's amazing. I literally love this whole series. I love Scott. I love the characters. I love I just love everything about FNAF. So just let me know what y'all thought, and bye.